championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining, and they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks Lats. Joined, as always, every Sunday with my guys, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson, Swerving Irvin Washington. What is up, fellas? Happy Sunday. Glad to be here. Ben, you should have put a blanket over that Franco jersey.
It's not confirmed yet. We just got a notification from ESPN that he's not traveling with the team either.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the allegations is pretty serious.
I've got another jersey ordered. We'll see if we'll see when it gets here. Fuck.
A Bonds?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for those of you that have been living under a rock today, during the Tampa Bay and Cleveland game earlier around noon Pacific Standard Time, some things started to go on viral on the interwebs with Wander Franco with a girl that claims to be 14 years old. Ben, before we went on air, we were kind of talking about it. Kind of want you to elaborate on what you were saying as part of like the allegations and the like what's being investigated, because you kind of made a good point as far as being in the DR and so forth and stuff like that. And Ben wasn't justifying it whatsoever. He was just saying there's legalities to it.
There are definitely legalities, and first and foremost, like, fuck the mom who's pimping out her daughter, who could be 14, could be 19. Like, we don't know what the age really is. It hasn't really come out yet. But we've got two somewhat issues. Is this happening? Was this happening in the States, or was this happening in the Dominican Republic? In the States, you have laws against you have the age of consent laws. Dominican Republic doesn't have an age of consent law. In some states, you can, if the person who's underage tells you that they're above age, then you're not necessarily in the clear, but it's less harsh because, either way, he should have done his due diligence and, finding out if this girl really was 14, 17, 19, who knows? It's a whole sticky situation at this point, and nobody really knows what's going down until we find out this woman's age.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's got a ton of different major and minor league ball players who follow her and like all of her pictures, and like who have now mass exodus from her page is a little interesting too. To see that Wander might not be the only one who's getting this girl passed around.
Sorry, I shouldn't have laughed at that.
But it's all in the mom. The mom is pimping her daughter out and asking for $200K and a Mercedes. Like,
what?
First off, yeah, that's how everything is coming out. Is the mom was trying to extort Wander for $200K and a new Mercedes, and Wander said no.
But is she doing that because is she like threatening to out it, or is she saying like what? Well, how was like what are you talking about? Because it sounds by the fact that she's saying like, oh, I want 200,000 or whatever, that she's basically saying like, hey, check it out, dude. Either you give me this, or I'm gonna fucking go out with this in public and let everyone know.
Yeah, that's what she did.
Yeah, and that's what she did. Wander said, no, I'm not giving you the money in the car, and she went out and posted this on Twitter.
But is that pimping her out, or is that just saying like?
Yeah, that's pimping her out. If she knows her daughter is a certain age and she's lying to people and telling them that she's older, and the mom knows what she's doing and has her around all these athletes, then that's basically she was grooming her daughter to basically be a damn prostitute
Yeah.
or escort. Well, yeah, basically an escort. But the only thing that could clear Wander and save him is he had no idea. Like if he has like text messages and all that to show like she said she was a certain age, then he showed her mom threatening him, saying like, "Oh, she's this old. If you don't give me this or give me that, then it's going public." But like Ben said, the biggest key is going to be, was it happening in the States or was it happening in the DR? Because if it was happening in the DR, it's a totally different ballgame out there.
See, but even then, like Jordan, before we were on, Jordan was talking about the precedent behind the matter. Is if this girl is young, she does look young. She also looks old in some pictures because she's fucking caked with makeup. So, like, the precedent behind it is you have to do your due diligence as a professional athlete, as a male,
he's
as
definitely
a
gonna
person.
face some type of suspension, fine, something.
Yeah.
I think the toughest part is even if it was in the DR and it's legal, like you still have to face the public court of opinion in America, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That could probably definitely destroy his what's the name?
his career.
His career,
His image, his career, all that.
Yep. Sorry we went off on a little tangent there. We had to get that news out. We're probably gonna bring it up in a little bit when we talk about the playoff picture as well, because you know, not only are the Rays going through this now, but I mean Shane McClanahan is now out for the season. So you can add him to Drew Rasmussen and Jeffrey Springs. So they're down their three best starters coming into the season.
Top three starters. Sheesh.
Which is insane. Before we get to that, I do want to mention, go to our YouTube, youtube.com/@taproomsports podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. Get notified when we go live. Also, twitch.tv/taproomsports. You can follow Irv on Twitter @SwervinIrvinTSP. Follow myself @JordanRulesTSP. Follow the podcast @taproom_sports. Yes. Ben, what are you sipping on tonight?
Yeah, I got a special one tonight. It is from Dunlow Brewing Company, which is out of Davis, California. So probably about an hour north of the Bay Area here. This is a 6.7% West Coast IPA, and it is called Aquarius Rex. Bought it for the can art, and the can art alone. I saw the T-Rex and I'm like, yes, I'm buying this. And it's a West Coast IPA, which is turning into one of my more liked beers. It's got Centennial, Mosaic, and Simcoe hops coming in at 6.7%. So taking a sip, it's pretty hoppy. So
nice. I love them West Coast IPAs.
Yep,
love it.
What do you got?
I'm just sipping on a Hop Ride IPA from Tenaya. It's actually been a long time since I've had a Hop Ride IPA. It's been like 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I usually drink Gypsy Fade or the Pilsner there, but decided to switch it up this week. And I also had a special Crowler, but I ended up drinking it last night, so
there we go.
Apologize for that. But I'll probably get another one and drink it on Tuesday as well for Tuesday's show. But yeah, man, excited for tonight's show, man. We got a lot going on. NFL is starting up. The dog days of summer here in MLB, and we're really, shaping up the playoff picture. And obviously we opened with the Wander Franco story, which is huge, for the Rays, because, Ben and I were talking before we went on air while we were waiting for Irv, and, if they lose Franco, he's been their best offensive player the whole season, and he's been their best offensive player since the All-Star break. They lose him, and on top of losing Shane McClanahan, and on top of the Rasmussen, and yeah, dude, I don't know if they're going to be able to sustain it. Like, they might not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They got 44 games left, I think.
Yep.
Where are we at? 70, 51,
to round
20.
there.
So yeah, 42 games left. And they can drop 5 games to Houston and Toronto, who are playing well, to Seattle. Who's playing well right now. Yep. Like this could be a complete a derailment. I don't want to say, choke job. Jordan corrected me on that earlier, because you have your top 3 pitchers out, but a huge derailment for this team who, nothing could stop them for what 2/3 of the season.
Yep. I mean, they were incredible, man. Like they were unstoppable. And you got to give the Orioles a lot of credit too, because while the Rays were playing that well, the Orioles were like right on their tail, you know, in
Yeah.
first place. And like, if you're the
Take
Orioles,
advantage of those hits.
yep. And if you're the Orioles, you got to be looking at this like, bro, we're in the driver's seat now, dude. Like,
Yep.
this is all bad for Tampa. And if you're those teams like Seattle, Boston, and New York, you got to be looking at it like, yo, our season isn't over. Like, we definitely have a chance to fucking get in the playoffs. You know, like the Yankees, they obviously have their issues. Blew a 4-run lead in the 9th inning today to the Marlins. Boston's been very up and down, like just very, very inconsistent. And Seattle's like they've caught fire, and then they ran into the Orioles this weekend, and Orioles took 2 of 3 in that series. So, and then Toronto, dude. I mean, Toronto looked like they were gonna get swept by the Cubs, and it's crazy. We talked last week about what teams we thought were gonna make it and weren't gonna make it. We kind of all agreed on the American League, except as far as the division winners. Has any of your opinions changed on the American League and who you think is gonna make the playoffs now after this last week, Irv?
No, not really. Like it's just.
You think Tampa will still make it?
I think that's
Nah,
the big thing.
they lose Wander for the rest of the season. They already lost McClanahan. I don't think they hold it together because those players have to play way above their head, and they can't go out and add any quality bats. Is after the trade season, they could probably look at the waiver wire and try to add some type of quality there. But what is that really going to get you?
Yep.
They could probably call up some prospects, but this is a stretch run, so I don't know who can replace Wander Franco? Nobody.
Yep.
So if they lose him, man, I think it's over.
And it's how long is this going to take? Because if this investigation takes, 2 weeks, that's anywhere close to 12 to 14 games that he's going to be out of commission for.
Well, Ben, you said that they said that he's not traveling with the team, right?
Correct.
How long is their road trip? Is this like a 6-game roadie, 7-game road trip? Because that's a week right there.
Yeah, it's. I'm pulling up their schedule right now, but it could be. He can also travel to.
Yeah, I mean he could travel pretty easily, but if he's not traveling with the team, I think that like Irv said, it's pretty serious allegations, and obviously like they don't want him around the team. 6 games.
6 games, yeah.
So he's probably out for at least a week.
3 against San Francisco, 3 against the Angels. So I mean, but again, and say it goes for another week, that's another 6 games, through Colorado and New York. They would love to have him for the division play against New York for sure.
Yep.
And then you're 12 games down the line. I think Colorado isn't going to be too tough. I think this probably gives a little life to LA, and San Francisco, you don't know what team you're going to get out of the Giants. So like this could be a place where they drop 6 to 9 games in a 9-game set.
That's huge. That like flips the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
Basically. I want to shift over for a minute. I don't mean to get off topic, but I want to go over to the Angels because the Angels have really been slumping too. And Ben, you and I were talking earlier as well that they're skipping Shohei's next start. They're saying it's arm fatigue, but I mean he's been slumping offensively. It looks like he might be actually hurt.
Yeah, what was that? He's gone like 2 for 12 since Drake, or 2 for 17 since Drake wore his jersey. So
the Drake.
I mean, but that just shows, his last. I mean, 2 for 17. That's probably what, 4 games. His last 4 games.
Yes.
He's only maybe even 5, but he's only been on base twice out of that. Yeah, or at least gotten a hit twice out of that.
He's been slumping, man. He has been slumping, and without him, the Angels have no fucking chance, dude. They have a very little chance as is. But Irv, I was telling Ben before you came on too. I was saying if I was Shohei, I'd shut it down, dude. Like,
yeah, shut it down. Get your bags packed. Get ready for LA, San Francisco, Chicago. a visit to the Pacific Northwest.
Yep.
You know, he's out of there, man. Pack the Angels asses up. Mike Trout could try to be the best player he can be without Shohei for the next decade.
That hasn't worked for the last decade, so
Exactly.
He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to. Yeah.
And shout out to Artie Moreno, the by far the dumbest dog shit owner in professional sports.
I mean,
So,
dude,
like,
there's gonna
what
be a
is it?
30 for 30 on this if
Oh,
Shohei leaves, dude.
So, well, do you think Moreno gets, kicked to the curb if
No,
Shohei's?
because he was supposed to sell the team last year, and he realized how much the team was going to sell for, and he probably like a projection how much money he could continue to make if he's the owner.
Yeah.
And he changed his mind at the last minute because he did some basically some backdoor scam undermining type shit that because he won a new stadium
Yeah.
and he was gonna buy because he owns the stadium but he don't own the parking lots. So he wanted to buy all the ground around Angel Stadium and then be able to build a new stadium and have 100% control of everything, parking, all that. But he did a shady backroom deal with the mayor. The shit got somebody outed him, and he realized like, oh yeah, so I'm not going to. That's what made him want to sell the team, and then he at the last minute he changed his mind because Disney was going to buy the team because that's who he bought it from.
Yep.
Like, where do the Angels go from here? I mean, maybe this isn't the time to have that topic, but
They go to the shitter.
well, yeah. Do they?
They
do
just gutted
go
their
and-
farm system to add Reynolds, who's gonna be in different uniforms next year.
Yeah.
They try to go all in to make the playoffs with Shohei. I think they were like 1-9 or 2-10 since the trade deadline.
2-7.
2-7. So it's just horrible man. You really can't blame management because I'm pretty sure they wanted to trade Shohei and he kept shooting it down.
But
So
you also can't blame them because they did go out and they tried to.
yeah, they tried.
They tried.
It's not the management. It's just they have a dog shit owner and they're never outside of that rally monkey year. What have they been?
Yeah, I mean, long term thinking for them. I mean, Moreno in the front office, they spend money. It's not like they're cheap ownership.
Yeah,
right?
they spend money on Rodon.
Yeah, they-
254 million.
It's just constantly they're going out and they're getting the wrong
Josh
guys.
Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton, that's another one. Like
I forgot about him. Yeah.
they just
What was that picture they gave all that money and he just went after 1 year? He just went completely in the shitter. Jared Weaver.
yeah, but I mean he was with them for so long, dude.
No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. I know it was a free agent picture they signed. And they gave him a whole boatload of money. And then after the first year, he was just terrible.
I mean, it's been all their free agent signings, dude. You know what I mean? Like they got like 1 or 2 good years out of Albert Pujols, and the rest of it was just fucking trash, dude.
Yeah, that dude was milking them.
2014 was like the only good year they've had, and that was the year they won the AL West. When the
And it's crazy too because he was all set to sign with the Dodgers, and the Angels came in with an extra year and I think 30 or 40 more million, and he went to the Angels.
But that's the thing with signing free agents in baseball, dude. Is like
Gotta love it.
you're really only paying for like 4 or 5 years because once those guys are free agents at like 28, 29 years old, give them a 10-year contract. There's no way these dudes are gonna live up to a 10-year deal. It's insane, dude. So yeah, I mean, I just think it's tough for the Angels. The good thing is like Ohapi looked good before he got hurt, and Zach Neto looks good too. Those are 2 young guys, and then Mickey, what's his name?
Moniak.
Mickey Moniak. He looks really good too. So I mean, they do have like some young pieces to build around. Also, Chase
Moniak,
Silseth looks really
He's not
nice.
an Angel prospect, is he?
He was actually the first draft pick by the Phillies, I think in 2017. They traded him last year for Brandon Marsh.
Okay. I forgot about that trade.
He didn't live up to the expectations in Philly, which, you
Yeah.
know, Philly's got unrealistic expectations anyways, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean I do think that they have like young talent, dude. It's just, you know, obviously Mike Trout is only getting older and he's breaking down. He's hurt every fucking year now. And then if you lose Shohei, obviously you lose a guy that hits 41 home runs, strikes out 200 batters, going to give you, 30 good quality starts a year. it's just that type of production is just nearly impossible to replace, dude. And like Chase Silseth has looked really good. Sandoval is a guy that I was high on coming into the year. He hasn't really played as well as I expected. He was pretty good at the end of last year. Reed Detmers, bro, went on like a stretch in June where he was like unhittable, and now the dude fucking can't get outs. It's insane. So I mean, they're
Don't forget my boy Griffin Cannon. Don't ever forget him.
That dude sucks. So I mean, this team has talent, dude. It's just whether they put it all together and then like everyone gets hurt at the same time. Like, they lost Drury and
they can't put it together. That's the problem.
Yeah.
No matter how long they had Trout, no matter how long they had Shohei, it never comes together for this team. The best they could do is play a month worth of good baseball, and after that,
I think a lot of it's bad luck too.
They need another COVID year where they're only playing 60 games.
That wouldn't even help them.
Yeah, it's too long.
Oh man, it's just a comical team, dude. There's curse, bro. I think that's really what it comes down to.
I knew he wasn't gonna trade Shohei. All he sees is dollar signs, buddy.
I mean, dude, you gotta look at it from two sides though, too. Like, I think it's a lose-lose situation either way. You don't trade him and you don't make the playoffs and you lose him, right? For nothing. But if you trade him and you get prospects, those prospects are forever going to be tied to Ohtani, and they're always going to have these like expectations, like, bro, you have to pan out because you were traded for Shohei Ohtani.
That's better than getting nothing.
Sure, but I mean, there's no guarantee though. You know what I mean? And like those prospects have these expectations, and I'm not saying they're not going to pan out. I'm just saying that like
I got one.
They'll
guarantee.
Forever be tied to that trade.
I got one guarantee.
What's that?
Shohei will be rocking a new uniform in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, I think I would put it at like maybe 5%.
95% he's leaving.
Yeah, 5% he resigns, dude. I just don't see him.
And he'll probably have to give Shohei 10 years, $2.2 billion for him to come back.
Well, and even if they do make the playoffs, they're gonna get bounced in the first round.
I don't know. I know I'm higher on the Angels than most people. I think this is a very talented team, dude. I really do.
But again, we look at what we were talking about earlier on the winners of, and if you're in the AL, okay, maybe they win. So they'd be in the 6th seed, so they'd be facing
I'd have them beating
3
Texas. I think they could beat Minnesota.
Would they beat Minnesota?
I think so. Bro, Minnesota literally been their solo home runs.
Right. They probably could beat Minnesota because if Minnesota not hitting home runs, they can't fucking score.
They can't score, dude. And they hit solo home runs, dude. Dude, on Saturday night, they hit like 5 solo home runs, dude.
Yeah. Well, then you think, Texas can beat them or Houston?
I think Texas can beat
Houston
them, but
can jump up.
The thing with Texas, dude, is like they're due for regression, bro. Like this team is absolutely due for regression, and it's all gonna come soon. Like this team cannot continue to play. This is the luckiest fucking team I've ever seen in my life, dude.
So if they got into the 6th seed, then they'd play 3, which is always going to be Minnesota. And then they'd go and play the number 2 seed, which at that point is probably going to be Houston.
So Houston's like the one team I would want to avoid because they have so much playoff experience. Like they've been there. Yeah. All these guys have performed on the highest stage. I think that is the toughest matchup. But obviously Tampa, I think they're going to slide a little bit. Bradish looks like a fucking budding ace. Grayson Rodriguez looks really good. But I mean, these guys are approaching uncharted territory in innings pitched. So, like, we don't know what we're going to get out of these guys basically for the rest of the season, really. And I think that is dangerous. Yeah. Baltimore has the best bullpen, hands down. But you got to get to that bullpen with a lead. And that could be their issue. Texas, they could beat. Minnesota, they could beat. I mean, they could give Houston a run for their money. They beat them today. In Toronto, I think they could beat, too. I just think they got to get into the racing. They're 6.5 back, dude. They might be too far back right now. And if Shohei's really hurt, then it's all bad, dude.
Yeah.
the funny thing about the Angels, dude, is like they'll get great starting pitching, and then they can't fucking hit, and then they'll hit, and then they can't get fucking their relief. You know, their closer goes out and blows a fucking 4-run lead in the ninth inning. Like, they just can't put it all together, dude. It's just, but I think if they got in, Ben, I do think I would give them a chance to win it all. Because when you could pitch Shohei,
Win it all?
yeah,
No.
bro, telling you, when you could pitch Shohei, and you could pitch, Silseth looks really good. Irv can attest to this too. That dude looks good.
They're not winning at all. There's no chance.
I've seen crazier things happen, man. Baseball playoffs are fucking weird.
Yeah. There's no chance.
I don't know, Ben. I mean, they got to get in first, dude.
I said there's a chance that they get in. I don't even think there's a chance that they go anywhere.
I'd give them a very slim chance of making the playoffs. Very slim right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to the NL. NL picture is kind of more clear, but man, these fucking teams fighting for the wild card. None of these teams want to fucking get in, dude. Like they just keep losing.
Yeah.
all these teams just keep fucking losing. The Giants 4-6 in their last 10. Miami 4-6 in their last 10, but they just had a big series win over the Yankees, including a 4-run comeback in the 9th inning today. The Cubs, they've been really hot. I actually think the Cubs are probably the best team of all the wild card contenders. Arizona finally snapped a 9-game win streak. They won 2 in a row. The fucking Padres, dude. This team, 3-7 in their last 10, and they're only 5.5 out, but they just cannot fucking win, dude. Like, they cannot put 2 games back to back.
It's the big thing. It's the 2 games back to back.
Like, if they score 7 one game, you know for a fact they're scoring less than 3 runs the next game.
Yep.
That team is fucking cooked. And Juan Soto came out last week and he said we're playing like we gave up, and he's been struggling more than anybody.
Yep. Well, I also think it very ironic that they are plus 57 run differential, and there's 3 teams above them that are negative run differential.
It's because they don't win close games, and
yeah, exactly. They cannot win a close game to save their life.
Like today,
Diamondbacks, Reds, and Marlins are all above them.
Well, let's put it in perspective. The Diamondbacks were plus run differential till like the last 15 days.
Yeah,
kind of. They've been spiraling out of control with 2 big wins against the Padres, and honestly, I think those 2 wins against the Padres, because the Padres could have won this series and jumped Arizona, right? But they lose this series, and now they have to jump 3 other teams, and I don't know if it's realistic for the Padres to do it. Like, as much as we talk about the Angels' chances being low to make the playoffs, I put the Padres' chances even lower.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy because the Padres have such a good team.
No, they have such a good they have 4 good players. Xander Bogaerts has been fucking trash for most of the season.
On paper, they have such a good team.
The craziest part is Ha-Seong Kim is their best player.
Yeah.
He's been their best player all season, dude. If I told you before the season Ha-Seong Kim was going to be the Padres' best player, what would you have told me?
They finished in last place.
Probably.
Yeah, too.
Nah, not finishing last place. They're definitely missing the playoffs, though.
Yeah. That's where they're at, dude.
Yeah.
They're just a struggling team, dude. And the crazy part is, too, they have the 3rd highest ERA among starting pitching in the entire Major League Baseball. And they fucking can't win, dude. This team sucks.
The lowest ERA, right?
Yeah, 3rd lowest ERA among starting pitchers in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here talking about them being 56-62 on August 13th.
Yep.
A team that had the 2nd highest odds to win the World Series coming into the season.
Yep.
What was their odds to miss the playoffs? Sheesh.
Oh, dude, you probably could have made a killing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I know somebody bet their ass to miss the playoffs.
Shit. You know how many people bet them to win the NL West, dude? That was like that was the trendy pick in the offseason. Padres to win the NL West.
Yeah. Well, you got to think too, like their under is definitely gonna hit.
Oh, dude.
Easy.
What was it, like 98.5?
Probably.
Dude, they don't even have it. They'd have to win out. Like,
yeah.
They're cooked, dude. Like this team is. I don't like. We talk about the Mets being the biggest disappointment because of their payroll, but I mean, like on paper, the Padres are a better team than the Mets, and the Padres are gonna miss the playoffs.
I think I still have the Mets being more of a disappointment.
Why?
Because they had to give away a lot of their assets that they spent a lot of money on. They sold at the deadline. They don't have
That's
the
smart, Ben. Like they knew
yeah.
like we're cooked, dude, and they fucking traded players. The Padres, on the other hand, they could have done that, and now
Yeah,
they're gonna
the
watch
Padres
Blake
were at least
Snell walk.
close enough.
Yeah,
But I mean, the Mets didn't even have a chance.
neither do the Padres. Bro, the Padres were like 3.5 back of the wild card last week, and they've won like 2 games since then. Like this team doesn't.
Shout out to them boys in blue though.
Yeah, the Dodgers have basically effectively ended their season on Monday.
Yeah.
Because they win that game, they're only like 1.5 back of the wild card, and then they go into that fucking Diamondback series, and it changes everything. But instead, they lose. They got up 5-0, and the Dodgers score 13 unanswered runs. Padres are just an unserious team, dude.
Yeah.
Very unserious.
And is Soto is a free agent at the end of the year.
Soto's a free agent. Blake Snell's a free agent.
Yeah. Someone I was talking to was like, no, Soto's got another year. I'm like, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He's a unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. They also have Blake Snell's a free agent. Josh Hader's a free agent.
Yikes.
I wouldn't mind my Dodgers signing Blake Snell.
I think a lot of teams.
Good possibility,
Blake
yeah.
Snell.
Blake Snell's going to be the most sought after starting pitcher for sure. 100%.
I mean, Shohei.
We'll give him that Bauer deal. You know, he comes off the books next year. Frees up another 60 to 80 million for my team.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of big spenders this offseason, dude. Like, the Dodgers have a lot of they're going to have a lot of money to spend. You know, the Yankees, I think the Yankees, like we talked about it last show, dude. I just think if they don't make the playoffs this year, I think they're going to overspend and just like throw crazy. Like, I wouldn't even be shocked if they signed Soto and Blake Snell. Like, that's what the Yankees do, dude. They always overreact. Now, I don't know if Hal is different than his dad, but I just think like they listen to the New York media, you know what I mean? And like the New York media is just sitting here like, dude, you know, we went from George, who would fucking spend whatever it took to win, to now we just are like content with fucking trotting out these fucking dog shit prospects that we think are good. We signed Rodon. Rodon's been fucking trash.
Well, he hasn't even pitched.
Well, shout out to the Yankee fan on SSAW that told me once he came back it was going to be a different team. Ah! Oh, that's a beachfront property to sell your ass in Montana.
Oh my god! I like the Yankees tomorrow against the Braves though.
That'll be nice if they can win. Shaq might go out there and get their asses lit up. But
yeah, the Yankees are, dude. It's just they're gonna be big spenders.
Blew a 4-run lead in the bottom of the ninth. They probably gonna go get their asses creamed tomorrow, and they on the road too.
Yeah, but you know the Braves have the Sunday night.
The Sunday night curse ain't been that strong this year.
No, it's been good. It's just this year MLB kind of a lot of teams that have to play on Sunday night, they've been giving them Mondays off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I don't know. The Braves might be kind of pissed off. They let one get away today.
Yeah, but they also lost Ozzy Albies, and Arcia might be hurt too. So those are
Ozzy Albies hurt. I didn't see he got hurt.
Yeah, he left the game in the 7th inning.
Damn. Hopefully he good.
He came up. He was running to first and came up limping. I don't know if it's.
That's probably a hamstring. Probably tweaked it.
Yep. I don't want to speculate, but yeah, I was gonna say it was probably a hamstring. I'm not a doctor though. And then Arcia like twisted his knee in the 9th inning, swinging at a pitch, dude. He like over fucking twisted his back right knee.
Yeah, but they still got Acuna, Murphy, Olsen.
Yeah, no,
Ros-
without a doubt. But I
Rosario.
mean, like,
He'll be all right. Especially against that dog shit lineup the Yankees trot out every day.
they still got Judge.
Yeah, you hit 3 solo homers and they'll lose 5-3.
Shout out to the Yankees fan on Twitter that said Judge is the best hitter since Barry Bonds.
Yeah, and Yankee fan, whatever PCP Sherm you smoking, please put it down. He ain't even a better hitter than Mike Trout.
Well, Mike Trout is the best hitter since Barry Bonds.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So how is he the shit? I wouldn't even put it. He not even a better hitter than Shohei.
Yeah, Shohei's probably better. I'd also put some other guys better, but obviously, like Judge hits for a ton of power, dude. Which,
What about Matt Olson? You got to start giving him some respect. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, but he don't hit for average.
What's his average this year?
Like 247.
Damn, yeah, Judge do hit for average, so that makes him a little different. But he still ain't the best hitter.
But Olsen does have a high OBP. Olsen is like he's basically Schwarber on steroids, dude. Because Schwarber is like fucking home run, walk, or strikeout. There's no in between, dude. Like zero in between. Olsen, he'll like walk a lot and he'll hit a lot of home runs, but he'll also hit a lot of doubles.
And yeah, he often say he does get a lot of base hits.
Yeah, he'll get a lot of doubles. Because the shift beam band really helped Olsen.
Yeah, it's really gonna help Bryce Harper once he's back to 100% too, because he's clearly not 100%.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not. Definitely not. Speaking of steroids, Mark McGwire came out and he was talking on AJ Przynski's podcast and said that steroid users, quote unquote, put it in quotes because some of these guys have never been proven to be steroid users.
Yep.
But I put it in quotes. These steroid users are being unfairly punished by the Baseball Hall of Fame and the media. What do you guys think about that comment?
100% agree.
Why?
Because Major League Baseball knew what those dudes was doing.
Yep.
Even the ones that got caught, they knew what they was doing. It's the reason why that list grew from 40 or 50 banned substances to damn near 400 or 500 now.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, and those 400 to 500s were not listed. Were not, told to the players during that time.
exactly. So how if you consciously know you're cheating, okay, but if your employers and your league know you doing it too, what am I really cheating or am I saving the game of baseball?
Oh,
That's
Major
what
League
they-
Baseball benefited immensely
Yeah.
from it, dude.
Without that steroid era, none of us are probably baseball fans today.
Yeah, especially after the 92 strike or 94 strike. Baseball was in a bad place, dude. And what was the thing that resurrected baseball? The Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa home run
Jacks.
chase, dude.
Yep.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Yep.
So if you want to punish all the Rafael Palmeiros, the Alex Rodriguez, how about you go back? If you want to punish them, how about you revisit all those races you had in the 30s, 40s, and 50s that you got in the Hall of Fame that openly called black people the hard ER, disrespected Jews, disrespected the Latino players, openly called them racial insults in the media, and then all this was accepted. And you go look at those guys in the Hall of Fame. So if we're gonna have revisionist history, let's have revisionist history on the whole game of baseball since 18 ball. Let's say the modern game of baseball since 1900. Go back and look at all those people you put in the Hall of Fame. Look at all the dirt they got in their closet. I think it's a lot worse than somebody.
That's the thing, dude, is like the baseball writers and like a lot of these baseball writers that are anti-steroid era are getting they're dying off, dude. They're ending. Their lives are ending, right? So we're starting to move past it. However, it's like you said, Herb, if we're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk about moral character of players being in the Baseball Hall of Fame, then you're absolutely right, dude. We need to go back and reassess every single player in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Because at the end of the day, these players are in the Baseball Hall of Fame because they were good at the game of fucking baseball, dude. Nobody talks about Ty Cobb and his issues. He was the biggest racist there was. You know what I mean? Not only that, he was a fucking alcoholic. He was a fucking dickhead. nobody has good things to say about the guy. Well,
He was a
all those people,
womanizer on top of all that.
yeah, like, and we sit here and we immortalized Ty Cobb. He's an immortal legend in the game of baseball.
Who's the other dude that played for the Reds? Camp Anson or whatever his name was. He was like, I guess he was part of like the first Hall of Fame guys, and it's well documented that he was one of the biggest proprietors of keeping the game all white. Him and the major league, the National League manager at the time, Kennesaw Landis. That's why they took his name off of. Was it I think it was the AL or the NL trophy? They took his name off of because all that racist shit about him came out and what he used to do back in the day. So if you're gonna have revisionist history, let's look at some of these GOATs and players y'all put up on that mantle and pull the skeletons out their closet.
Yeah.
And you got them in the Hall of Fame.
And at the end of the day, like, steroids, they weren't even, like, MLB didn't look down upon them. And while they were legal in the, you know, they were federally illegal, you know, baseball didn't ban steroids until 2004.
Exactly.
So it's,
when that report came out with snitching ass Jose Canseco.
Yep. And it's unfortunate because, like, it is a part of baseball, and, like, not only that, it's like, yeah, these hitters were taking steroids, but so were the best pitchers.
Percent of those, it's crazy.
Yeah, and some of the best names in baseball: Bonds, Clemens, Ortiz, Canseco, Arod, Palmeiro, McGuire, Sosa, Ramirez, Giambi, Sheffield, Gonzalez, Pettit. Like,
the least talked about, the least cared about Hall of Fame in all of professional sports. The Hockey Hall of Fame has more prestige than the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, you can't even take the Baseball Hall of Fame serious if the best player in the game isn't even enshrined.
Yes, complete joke. How do you have a 7-time? That's like Wayne Gretzky not being a Hall of Famer in the NHL. That don't even make sense.
how do we know he wasn't huffing maple syrup before the games?
Exactly.
It's Canadian.
They're toting some crystal meth to give some.
Oh man, bro went all the way to crystal meth.
Or some booger sugar, you know.